But let's get into this Bears Vikings preview today, man. So the Bears got second division game and against the Vikings. It's funny because this came so late in the season. We thought earlier in the season, schedule drop. Oh man, we perfect time to play them because we'll be into it. No, nigga, you're not. You're not at all. And now we're here with lump after lump, man. But the Vikings coming to this game at 8-2, man. They are number 2 in the NFC North. This is their third game in a row. Third game on the road. Offense has not been looking as good. They have not scored over 23 points in a month. That was the last time that they scored over 23 points. It was against the Lions. It feels like Sam Darnold's getting slowly back to who he is, but Justin Jefferson is still a problem. Jordan Addison is still a problem. Aaron Jones has been a problem, but this defense is the biggest problem here, man, for young Caleb Williams. But before we get into Caleb, what do you think? What is there to be gained with these next 7 games? And I think for me, and then this is gonna sound probably naive, just a fan, but I think you want to finish off strong. Nobody wants to finish with this record they have right now. Nobody wants to quit and see this team just out there going through the motions. And I think there's a lot more to prove on the offensive side. For the defense, man, I think you want to keep those top rankings. You want to make yourself feel like, tell the front office, show the front office, like, we're doing our part. And if you get the right man in here to lead this team, then we can the sky be the limit. And that's how Eberflus kept his job last year, seeing the strong way that the defense closed and was able to have all those turnovers they had towards the end of the season and be able to win the extra amount of games that they won. They won 7 games last year, a total that I don't think they're going to win this year, which is crazy. You told me a couple months ago, oh, they're going to win less games they won last year. I thought you were a madman. There's no way. Even in my biggest Bears pessimism, that I thought they would just win, less than 7 games. But that's what it's looking like right now. But for the offense, if you're Caleb, you want to finish off strong, and especially if you're Thomas Brown. So I think that's what's the game for these next 7 games. Bang, what do you think is the game for these players for the final 7?
For vets that might be looking for a job at the end of the season, this is audition. For coaches, this is an audition as well, excuse me. But for the team in general, this is to prove to people what people thought about this team at the beginning of the season, what they could be a sleeper candidate. Like we talk all this stuff about how this is the toughest back half schedule of anybody in the NFL. I don't believe it's going to happen, but what if by some chance the Bears start rolling off a couple of victories here and there and get themselves back in the playoff hunt? Because they're not that far out. What happens? Like if the Bears come out of this with a winning record, they could be in the playoffs and they could be a favorite in the playoffs. Because if you go through this gauntlet with the record we thought you was gonna have coming into it, you have to put the Bears up there. So if this is it for these vets on this team, this is not a situation where you could give up. This is a situation where you can prove the league, fans, other people wrong and go ball out. Playoff starts now. So that's what it is for those people.
And I think you said something real interesting there because I do feel like if they won more games, then I feel like the Flus evaluation continues. I said that I'm not going to root for losses. I'm just not going to do that because I feel like this team should be better than what they are. But I do kind of feel like, let's say they win a couple games. Let's say they do get back to 7 wins like they had last year. Do you think? And Dante, I'm gonna go to you first. Do you think that there will be any possible way over these next 7 games for Eberflus to save his job, or do you think he's just dead man walking, regardless if this team even rallies some wins and gets fake into the division, into the playoff race?
He's a dead man walking because 1, that's not gonna happen. But 2, even if it did happen, I think at the end of the day, they're gonna be coaching candidates out there that they know for a fact are just better than Matt Eberflus. And this was a season, we've talked about Ryan Poles, his evaluation process for each step of what he wants to do with the Bears and what he's building. And even though it would make absolutely no sense, in my personal opinion, that this would have been the evaluation year for your head coach when you came out and said it was time to win. So, if this is one of those situations where that's what it was, and you've realized, okay, it's time to move on. It's nothing that he can do to change that. I don't think winning a certain amount of games, because first of all, they will have to do something pretty ridiculous. And if they do that, we're basing it off, Thomas Brown and his influence. That's what we're expecting it to be. We're not expecting it to be Matt Eberflus suddenly learning how to coach in week fucking 11. Like I don't see that happening. So it's one of those situations where as far as Flus, I mean, I'm sorry, with the vets and what they can gain from this. I understand you don't want to root for losses, but I kind of just wanted to just blow up in their faces so we can just move on with the process. Because I'm tired of the 1 foot in, 1 foot out shit. Like I'm tired of, we came back and won 8 games. If we just had a little bit things break our way, they could have been 10 games, 11 games. We've been saying that for a while. So I don't want to see that at all. I just really want mainly players staying healthy. That's my biggest thing. That's really all I got in terms of what is to gain from these next 7. Caleb getting more experience, getting more reps, because just reps at the end of the day is what he needs. Quality reps, of course, but reps, to get work on some things as he continues as a rookie quarterback. But as far as this team, bro, I don't think there's too much to gain, except in reality, probably more to lose. Because if you win games, then you have to still have this conversation about this coach that shouldn't be the head coach. So, like, why even entertain that?
Ben, do you think the evaluation for Flus is still going on, or do you think he can save his job from getting a couple wins? But like you said, they're not all the way out the playoff race yet.
Oh, he could save his job by kicking everybody ass in this back half of the season. Look, how could you not save your job if you beat Minnesota, if you beat Detroit on Thanksgiving, if you could sneak out wins against the NFC West? And even if you lose to Detroit and Minnesota in the back half, if you defeat Green Bay, like, yes, he has a chance, which is why it's disappointing to see his ass moping around here, like somebody stole his cat. Like, no, this is supposed, like, I told one of my employees a couple of weeks ago, you playing with house money. He playing at this point, he playing with house money, and that's the only money he got left. So burn that bitch out, man. Start betting on black, and hopefully that bitch keep hitting. If it don't, you gone anyway. So he got to stop moping, stop tucking his nuts, and really go out there, because it's definitely a chance.
Yeah, I'm with you. I actually do think there's a chance. And I think the way they're talking to the media, like, oh, the Bears still have a head coach now, just lets me know that he's still gonna have chances to be able to do that, man. I'm going to mix this final topic up with our picks. Caleb Williams is gonna be his biggest test this Sunday against this Minnesota Vikings defense. Brian Flores likes to throw a lot of exotic blitzes. At the teams they go up against. Overall, they are a top 10 defense in the NFL, man. They are currently ranked, got it right here, at I just had it right here. I'm tripping. Oh, yeah. So right now they're 10 in overall defense, the Minnesota Vikings. Their passing defense, shockingly, isn't that hot. They are ranked 20. I just had it right here. I hate when I hate when you look at something and then it just go right past you and shit. So the Vikings pass defense is ranked 20. What the fuck was it? Right here?
You
Anyway,
like
it's
a
in the
older
20s.
you.
It's in the 20s. It's
It's
21.
there.
It's 21. It's 21. There you go. It's 21. But they are big in sacks, have 35 sacks. That's the passing defense. The rushing defense is number one rushing defense in the NFL. Caleb Williams has been very good against the blitz. After week 2 of the season, he's found a way to beat it. I think this is a key fact for him, that if he can get past the blitz, the offensive line needs to have a great day. They're going to be getting Tevin Jenkins back. Ryan Bates still going to be out, but he ain't been here all season. I think that this is something where if he passes this test with flying colors, the sky's the limit for the rest of the season for what he can do, just because Brian Flores and the defense are very good at confusing quarterbacks. Even though their pass defense is the bottom of the league, they've had interceptions the last 5 games. So that's a big stat right there as well. I'm expecting a big game from Caleb. I think he's going to have a big game. I think that this is something that Thomas Brown has, drilled into him and, saying what they need to do. I actually expect the playbook to open up a little bit more than it did last week because, he only had 2 practices. They've had over a week now to plan things. And, of course, obviously, the Vikings are going to be more prepared as well because they've got film to look at, man. But I think that his running game is going to be a big part of how this game goes. I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to have 1 passing, 1 rushing. And I do think he's going to throw a pick. I think that pick streak comes to an end as well as the touchdown little streak does too. I think that the Vikings will carry that up. But also, the Vikings are probably tired of being on the road so long, and this is something they need to take advantage of. And I think they match well with the Vikings. And I feel offensively, if the defense can come out to play, that they can make plays on Sam Darnold and make this a very close game. I said on Where's the Win that I said the Bears are going to win 2 more games, and I said one of them was going to be against the Vikings, and I think that one's going to be this Sunday. I think that the Bears loser streak comes to an end. I think they win 21-14 on the lakefront this Sunday. Bang, tell me what you expect from Caleb and what your final score is.
Man, I believe this is going to be a good game for Caleb. Not a spectacular game when it comes to numbers, because I do believe that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I think this is going to be a defensive-minded game. But I don't think Caleb is going to make too many mistakes to put the Bears defense in a weird position. I also believe that the Bears defense feels like that they need to step it up this game as well. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think the Bears are going to lose 17-10 and get ready for Thanksgiving.
10 points would be rough for this team right now.
Yeah.
Dante, what do you expect from Caleb this week, and what's your final score?
I was about to say, brother, I don't have much more for you. Well, I was going to say 14-17, but I think with Caleb, we're going to see him get the ball out quick. I think if they do win this game, it's going to be one of those things where this will be the best call game we've seen all year from Thomas Brown and that offense getting the ball out quick, dealing with Flores and his blitzes. He kind of got like the water boy shit going on. He see every quarterback and see Tua. So, that defense is going to be all over the place flying around. We know how they do. But if they do win this game, it'll be because of the game that the play calls that they scheme up to stop that blitz and neutralize it. But I'm a bang. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to go 17-14 Green Bay. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Caleb won't look bad. But in terms of putting points on the board, I think they're going to struggle to do that. So I'm going to go 17-14 Vikings.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not